Monsters housed by the SCP Foundation can be truly terrifying, dangerous, and threatening to most life forms. However, in most cases we can control them, subdue them, and in some cases destroy them. However, some SCPs are completely indestructible and could spell the end of our time here on Earth. So this is the top 5 scary indestructible SCP monsters that will never stop. Before we begin though, be sure to stick around until the end of the video where I'll be responding to some of your comments. And with that, let's jump in. Coming in at number 5, SCP-1864. 1864 Alpha is an island roughly 80 kilometers southwest of Coates Island within the Hudson Bay, and currently the location in which the whole of SCP-1864 phenomenon is contained. Recovered information indicates that the structure on 1864 Alpha were originally designed for use as a mining colony, but further evidence shows that it has been abandoned for more than 75 years. 1864 Alpha is itself anomalous, as it is only reachable during new moons. Approach to 1864 Alpha on any other day or night is impossible. Despite appearing to be moving in the direction of 1864 Alpha, ships will find themselves coming no closer to the island. During the time between SCP-1864 Alpha and materialization events, personnel stationed at Site 1864 will be unable to leave the island by any means, although various attempts have been made to do so. All individuals attempting to leave have found themselves turned back to the island. 1864 is a spatial anomaly situated within a dilapidated building at the center of 1864 Alpha. The building appears to have once been used as an on-site hospital, although the presence of a variety of previously unknown weaponry and technology within the main lobby of the building has put this theory in question. An inscription written in German reads as follows: "Follow the pathways of the lonely liar, deep into the sunken passages he rots, eyes sewn shut with his own wicked hairs, locked in the silent sick pit." 1864 is a vast labyrinth constructed to match the general aesthetic of 1864 Alpha. Within the center of the labyrinth is a large pool of water, and next to the pool is 1864-1. 1864-1 is a Class 2 near-humanoid entity who has an elongated torso that connects to the floor beneath it, a single extendable arm-like appendage that connects to the body from the middle of the back, and a vaguely human-like face, and is generally emaciated in appearance. It is generally non-hostile and is capable of vocalizing in German. 1864 is currently contained on 1864 Alpha. Foundation vessels in and around the location of 1864 Alpha materialization events should monitor civilian vessel activity during the new moon and turn away vessels that come within 5 kilometers of it. Coming in at number 4, SCP-1741. 1741 is the collective designation for a series of anomalies centered around an indestructible 2-meter tall brick shack located on the bank of the river in southern Louisiana. The door of 1741A cannot be opened. The interior of 1741A is only visible when the window is opened by the humanoid 1741C that lives within. When this occurs, the second anomalous property of 1741A is revealed. Volume of the interior is vastly greater than the exterior appearance of the building should allow. Visible contents of 1741A resembles an establishment colloquially referred to as a soda foundation, with the window acting as a drive-through window despite most such establishments lacking one. Now let's discuss 1741B. 1741B are several aquatic vehicles surrounding 1741A. B instances are stylized as different marine animals, all in various states of disrepair. Should instances of 1741B be removed from an 80-meter radius from A, a new instance of 1741B will rise from the bottom of the river. Now moving on, 1741C is a male humanoid of European descent dressed in a zoot suit, whatever that means. 1741C possesses no visible anomalous anatomy, though it does not appear to require nourishment and does not age. 1741C will attempt to sell boat rides to anyone who approaches. An instance of SCP-1741B will spontaneously self-repair for each human who purchases a ride, the price of which is $3. Should a customer travel more than 8 meters from 1741A, the repaired 1741B will ram itself into another instance of B and sink from the subsequent structural structural damage. Just one person is permitted to board the instance, and if more than one attempts to board, 1741B will break apart. 1741 has been constructed as the primary research and containment facility for 1741 and is surrounded by a 3-meter high fence with 300-meter radius centered around SCP-1741-A. Coming in at number 3, SCP-068. 068 is a wire stick figure made of an unknown metal. The figure is composed of a single wire looping back to the center. The wire itself appears to have been bent numerous times in multiple places. When an electric current is introduced to 068, it becomes animate, moving about on its own. 068's joints are where a normal human being's would be. Once activated, 068 begins to search for any metallic material. Once metal has been found, it will begin to knead it and then pull a thin strip of metal off. It will then construct another figure similar to itself. The newly created figure will begin to knead the remaining metal alongside the original, creating new figures, which in turn produce more replicas. 068 will move on to its next stage after one of two requirements are met. The first is when there are no more metals in range with enough mass to produce another figure. The other is when an upper limit of 102 replicas are created. When either of these events occur, all figures will converge at one location and begin forming themselves into as big as a figure as possible. 068 is capable of kneading and manipulating any metal presented to it, regardless of properties. It also appears to be impervious to any attempts to damage or destroy it. 068 is to be kept away from any metals in an electrically resistant box, preferably made of Teflon and rubber. Coming in at number 2, SCP-4229. 4229 is a Victorian-era mailbox measuring 1 meter in height, 25 centimeters in width, and 1 meter in depth. A root system resembling that of an oak tree extends 2 meters from the base of 4229 into the soil. Any attempts to excavate 4229 will cause this system to develop at a rapid rate until it roots in suitable fertile ground. 4229 was first discovered in 1896, having emerged from a street corner in Sidcup, southeast London, fracturing multiple pavement blocks. When examined, a single instance of 4229-1 was inside. SCP-4229 are packages that manifest within the male cavity of 4229 at statistically random intervals. Instances of 4229-1 will manifest regardless of whether the cavity is empty, resulting in eruptions of pressurized flesh if left closed. Epidermal contact with ruptured packages result in an above average infection rate for HIV, hepatitis A, tuberculosis, and a variety of other blood pathogens. The male cavity of 4229 is to be kept open at all times. It itself is currently held in the Biogarden adjacent to Site 76. Due to developing containment concerns, plans are underway to relocate the object to Site 103. Personnel stationed on 4229 will be tested weekly for any naturally occurring blood-based pathogens. And finally, coming in at number 1, SCP-1155. 1155 manifests as a work of street art / graffiti depicting the form of a humanoid creature with sinewy forelimbs, claw-like hands, and the head and feathers of an owl. The depicted pose is variable but tends towards a predatory stance with eyes that appear to track the viewer. Anyone viewing this image directly will experience a compulsion to investigate it further. Some victims even go on to describe a nervous fascination and a desire to move closer. This can be resisted with effort, especially if the subject is aware of SCP-1155's anomalous properties. If a subject approaches within 2 meters and is not in the line of sight of another person, they will be subjected to a violent attack, suffering severe lacerations, dismemberment of extremities, whole or partial removal of soft body parts, and penetrating head trauma, consistent with those that would be inflicted by a large beak and/or talons. The attack generally takes about 6 seconds to conclude, upon which both 1155 and the victim will vanish, and 1155 will reappear elsewhere in the usual manner of a relocation event within 7 days. Attacks can be halted before this event by re-establishing line of sight to the victim, but this is not recommended. 1155 is currently contained in a disused parking lot adjacent to an abandoned shopping center in a major metropolitan area. The building is to be marked condemned, and access to both it and the car park should be restricted by Foundation personnel posing as security guards. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with that list? Were there any indestructible SCP monsters that we missed? Give us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 2. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos, top 5 scary haunted waters of the world. The Mystery File said, when it comes to horror narration, Lucy just seems to be the cherry on top. I don't want my horror without Lucy anymore. Well, there's always Keegan, but we all know I'm better than him, so you're right. James Vance said the Great Lakes need a top 5 scariest list of their own. Maybe, we'll see. I think that's a great idea, but I don't want to give you credit for it. I'll take the credit. Project Warhawk said, please do a top 5 scary old radio horror shows. There are so many great ones. I actually love that idea. Maybe I'll do it. Angela Field said, you lied. You said you'll never smile and then you did. Trick of the light. I don't think I did smile. I don't recall. Chris, did I smile?
No.
No. Michael Wallace said, Lucy laughed and a billion voices cried out in terror and then we were silenced. I can think of way worse ways to end the world than Lucy's laugh. I don't remember laughing either. I think that was a trick of the audio. Didn't laugh, not even then. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary vid. Until next time, see you later. Materialization event. Materialization event should That's a zoot suit.
That's a zoot
Oh,
suit.
that's cool. I want a zoot suit. I'm gonna get a zoot suit.